Okay, so today we are going to look at still life. So I showed you a few videos or pictures of still lifes. A still life is basically drawing from real life. So we're going to take stuff from our buckets. I'll lay out some paints, some glue, things just from around the art room that we can put together and make a still life of. We'll do one for each table. So you have to work as a team, the four of you, and decide what you want where. And the cool thing is, because you're all sitting at different spots, each of your papers are going to look different because you're looking at it from a different point of view. So let's say I set up my still life so that I've got like this. I'm going to do it like this so you can see it. Maybe like a cup with a brush in it, and then I've got this cup with my colored pencils, and then I've got glue, and then maybe I've got a ruler here, and a glue stick, and so if that's set up on my table like that, then that's what I'm going to draw. But if I'm sitting over here, it's going to look different, isn't it? And if I'm sitting over here, sorry, it's going to look completely different too. So no matter where you're sitting, it's going to be different. So all four of you should have a different drawing, even though you're looking at the same things, okay? So if this is what I'm looking at, then that's what I want to try and draw on my paper, okay? Which is a little hard because everyone's going to have a different one. It's not like you can just follow along and do whatever I'm doing, because what you're looking at is different than what I'm looking at, okay? But basically what we're going to do is use our pencil to get the right angle. So like when I hold this up like this, I know it's going this way, this side's going this way. Like I can use my pencil to help with angles and looking at things like, okay, well this glue stick comes about a little over halfway up the cup. So if I'm drawing my cup and I have my glue stick drawn up here, I know I've drawn my glue stick way too big, right? Because it should be halfway through. And it should be about where this is on the glue. So I'm looking at things where I'm drawing them and looking at them in relation to what's next to it, okay? So I know that the scissors should go almost from halfway through my glue all the way over towards past my glue stick. And my ruler is going to go across the entire page. It's the longest thing. Okay, so I'm constantly looking at shapes in proportion to other shapes around it so that it looks lifelike, okay? Now, this is probably the hardest thing we're going to do all year. You are going to need to erase a lot. The thing about still life drawing is it's going to take probably 50 tries to get it right. I'm not going to give you another piece of paper, and that's so that you can learn, okay? I really want you to work on, no one's going to draw it right the first time. I don't draw it right the first time. So I need you guys to learn how to draw light so that you can erase. It's going to make your life so much easier, okay? So I'm actually going to move this so that I can work. But just know it's off screen, so it's going to look a little different because I don't have a ton of room. But I'm going to try and do basically what I just showed you. Okay, so I'm going to start basically here. I'll show you what it looks like now. It looks like that. Okay. I'm going to start with my Elmer's glue. Okay, and it's going to be basically like a rectangle, but it's curved. And I'm drawing really, really, really light, you guys. This is going to be hard for you guys to see, but I want to show you that even I'm going to be making mistakes, and so, you know, have your big eraser ready. Don't use the eraser on the pencil. Have somewhere, let's see, have one of these guys, okay, ready. Then my glue kind of comes up. So once I get one thing drawn, I can look at that and use all of the other things in proportion to that. So once I have my glue drawn, I'm going to make sure I'm comparing every other thing that I draw to the glue to see if it's kind of the right size in relation to the glue, if that makes sense. Okay, I think this needs to be wider. So I don't like to erase until I have it right. So I keep all of my wrong lines until I get the right one, and then I go back and I erase the lines that are wrong. And I kind of like to sketch, which means loose, light lines. I think it works way better for me. That way I don't have like ugly erase lines everywhere. So, okay, so then there's a label on my glue. And I am going to do everything I see. So like I have written on the glue art table 1 because I wanted to label them for your tables. And I'm going to write that because, you know, that's what I see. So everything I see, I'm drawing. Okay. Then there's kind of like a triangle for the Elmer's glue label. And then there's like this kind of school glue. And there's like a little apple here. I'm not going to get super detailed yet. Right now I'm just trying to get, and this is like, I think this is a cow on the Elmer's glue. I don't know why there's a cow on their label, but there's a cow. So I'm going to draw just a quick little shape of it. And then Elmer's. Okay, so now I've got my glue. Now I'm going to look. Okay, so where's my cup in relation to my glue? It's to the right of it. There's a little bit of space. So I'm going to do a little bit of space. And like the cup starts about where the school is. Okay, so I'm looking at, it's going to start about right here. Okay, it curves, right? And then it's going to come up. And it's going to go past, almost past the top. The top of the cup is just slightly higher than the top of my glue. Okay? And there's a big handle that kind of swoops. Okay? And there's a circle, right? The cup has a circle at the top where pencils and things are coming out of. And I'll draw those later, but that just kind of gives me the idea of them. And I'll draw the pattern on the cup later. Okay, so right now I'm just getting the shapes in. And then about a little space over, starting basically where the bottom of the cup is, there's a little glue stick. And it comes about here on the handle. So I know that the top of my glue stick comes here, and because it's a circular thing, there's ovals, right? And kind of the cap is right here. There's like little lines, and then I can worry about doing the Elmer's label on the glue stick later. Okay. Okay. Then we've got a ruler, and the ruler comes almost up to the glue stick. And comes, you know what, I need to do it so that it goes all the way, almost touching my glue. Okay. And then we've got a scissors. And the scissors is going to go up over my glue. It's actually, I can't see the bottom of the glue because the scissors. Scissors are hard, okay? Please don't trace. Try your best. If you've got to redo it, erase it and try again. I'm doing it really sketchy. I can always go back and make it nicer later. It comes almost to the end of my ruler. Okay, so then there are my scissors. I've got a pencil sharpener here. One of those little tiny ones. I've got behind my glue, starting a little bit above it, is this big Folgers. Bin, and it's about twice as wide as my glue, so I need to make it wider than that. Okay, and it's got one paintbrush coming out of it. And their Folgers labor comes about halfway. Okay. I probably need to add something over here, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, the end of the cart. The end of the cart comes down here. Okay, it drops off around the glue, it curves and comes out here. Behind it, I see a wall going back here. And then somewhere on the left side of my cup, that wall curves around. Okay. So that's the basic. Now I'm going to go back, add details, add the pattern on the cup, add the labels. And once I get it to where I like it, then I start coloring it in. Again, like I said, there's going to be a lot of erasing, a lot of trial and error. So just keep at it. This is like a 3 or 4 week lesson. So, you know, just try your hardest. And it can stay loose and sketchy like this if you want, but I do want then us to take color pencil and color it in. So try your best.